God was relentless in pursuing me and making sure that I had the opportunity to make a decision.
He showed me that He's victorious.
He guides me. He shows me the direction I need to go in.
He didn't intend for me to be a victim. But what the enemy means for evil, God can turn around for good.
Well, during World War II, my mom and dad had to do a lot of hard work just to get by. And so I was always involved in something when it come to working because that was just part of my family growth. You know, my mother was a Sunday school teacher. Well, one time my dad got what's called a long leave, and they wanted to go up to the Bay Area to visit family, and my mom told the head of the Sunday school that she was going to have to miss the next Sunday, and he said, "You can't do that, you have to teach." And she said, "No, I don't." She said, "I quit." And that was the last time I went to church.
Well, I was actually born here in Redding, but we lived in Hayfork. My dad was a good provider, but he wasn't a warm, loving type person. My mom was very loving. I don't know what their relationship was, a little shaky, I think, because he would be upset with her a lot. And when he drank, it just made it that much worse. When trouble was around, I would kind of fantasize about who I wish I was. I wish I had long hair, and I wish my name was Kathy or something, but I just wasn't really liking who I really was. My mom took me to church, and she bought me this little Bible. Well, all through my life, I always knew that God was out there somewhere. You know, I didn't have a relationship with him, but I just always felt like I would be okay.
When I went to college, I was on my own. When I was a young fellow, I thought I was a center of attraction. Everything was supposed to be about me and what was going on with me. And I had an apartment that I lived in with 3 other guys, and we were always out doing something somewhere. Of course, we spent a lot of time in a particular beer joint, drinking beer in the evenings, and that went on really all through college. I thought I was somebody special, and I could do what I wanted, when I wanted to do it, and how I wanted to do it.
When I was about 10 years old, my mom and I left. We had to leave. We had to sneak away. That's when it got really bad, and he was really threatening to shoot her and shoot himself. Through a process of him trying to get us back again, next thing I knew that he had taken his life. And as a child, my thought was, oh, phew. It was a relief because he wasn't going to be able to hurt us anymore. You know, as I got older, I realized that he just probably did the best he knew how to do, but he just didn't have any tools or any way of coping.
My first marriage was, met the young lady in college, and we were both teaching, and everything was going pretty well, but then I just kind of got to the point where it was all about me and not about her, and she ended up raising 2 girls and managing a house. I wasn't a good father, and I wasn't a good husband. My wife had had enough of me, and she went about her way to go do something else.
When I was a senior in high school, my mom had this problem. She wanted to end her life too, and I was only 17. So I decided to just get married for the wrong reason. All my life, all I wanted to do was be a mom. I thought, well, maybe if I had kids, this will work out. Never was able to have children. So anyway, after 12 years, I just got a divorce. It was just such a disappointment to think without the kids, it was like, what else is there, you know? And the marriage, I didn't expect it really to last because I didn't think he would want to stay with me.
I met this other young lady, and well, it was interesting because when we got married in a church and a pastor that she knew, and the following Sunday she said, we have to go to church. And I said, what for? Things went on, and then it lasted about 6 years, and then I walked away from that marriage because I didn't want to have anything to do with the church. And then I just went out. I'm close to a 40-year-old person, living like I was a 20-year-old college kid again.
Then I'm on my own, and I'm doing pretty good. And then I marry a man who is an alcoholic. You would think I know better with my dad being an alcoholic, but he was a different kind of an alcoholic. He was a real manipulator and played head games. And I was so unhealthy emotionally that I would just fall right into his trap and cry, and I was so miserable. But I used alcohol to try to escape this, where I was. I was considering suicide. I was going to get in the car, get really stoned, drive as fast as I could into a bridge abutment, and it would just look like an accident. Well, one night when I was waiting for my second husband to come home, he was out drinking. I just saw that little Bible that my mom got me when I was 10 sitting on the dresser. And I'm sure the Lord just had me pick it up and start looking at it. I know it was in the gospel somewhere. I don't even remember what I was reading, but it was almost like those seeds that were planted when I was 10 and going to church were just lying dormant that whole time until the water of the word just hit it, and then it started to just spring up somehow. It was like, oh, there's a better way to live here. I don't have to live like this. And I found a place to rent and left. That's when I decided I was gonna do it his way, by the book, and go to church. And I started going to a little country church, and that's when they gave the invitation. I raised my hand, and that's how kind of I got started. And as I look back now, the overall thing is like all things work together for good.
One afternoon on a Friday in November of 1981, I didn't have to coach that day, so I came home, and I was sitting in my apartment waiting to go to the place where at 5 o'clock to meet the guys so we can have beer and visit. And I was sitting there, and all of a sudden this voice said to me, "Are you going to follow me or not? I've been pursuing you for years." It was like someone was sitting right next to me. I knew it was real. Absolutely real. And God started talking to me. My whole life changed in a matter of minutes. I started bawling like a baby, and I gave my life to Jesus. And nothing's been the same since. Jesus is everything. When I accepted Christ and became part of Little Country Church, that became my family. And it has done so much for me in my life, which has helped me even understand where I was before, because now I know where God is and how Jesus is in my life and what would have happened if he'd been in my life originally. I feel very, very blessed all the time. Even if I run into difficulties, big deal. It's still about Jesus, not about me.
That's one thing I'm thankful for, that he's always watched over me. He's always shown me that even though these things were not pleasant in my childhood, it worked out for good. Well, once Harry and I got married, I realized that I was going to have 2 daughters. So I ended up being a spiritual mother to 2 adult kids. I'm just thankful that he's always so faithful and trustworthy, and trust him.
I just think it's phenomenal how God is relentlessly working in our lives all the time.